Good morning, my dear students. Today we are beginning our next video lesson. So, what have you done during the previous one? During the previous lesson we have written the test. So, it means that today we are going to start a new topic. So, first of all, I hope that all of you received your test results. And I hope that you've analyzed and have done the correction work on your test. So that's why today is our new talk. Okay, what this topic will be? For that, open up your book on page 121 and look at the title of our last topic, because it's the last module, module number 8. So we are finishing the book and we are going to work with this module today. So, what is the title? The title of this module is Challenges. That's right. Okay. What is challenge? You know, this word, nowadays, this word has become an international word. And we use this word, the word challenge, without even translation. For example, we may say, ты знаешь, у меня вчера был такой классный challenge. So we use this word without translating, because it has become a common word in our language. But what is challenge? So actually, what it is, how do you understand the meaning of this word? So, challenge is a difficult or problematic situation that happens to you, some problem that you have to face, something that you have to overcome and find the way out of this situation. So what can be a challenge? It may be some, a difficult activity, sport activity, physical activity that you have to do. It may be your final exams, so why not final exams? Your final exams is also a challenge for you, because it is something that you have to go through. It is something that you have to overcome. It is something that is very difficult for you, but you have to face it. So this is what a challenge can be. Now turn the page. We'll start with reading and vocabulary as usual, because each time we start with this exact part of our language skills. Reading and vocabulary. Never give up is the title, or the topic of our today's lesson. What is give up? I think you know. It's a phrasal verb. It means сдаваться. Never give up. Никогда не сдавайся. I think you can judge and you can understand that this is about challenges. Well, and usually we start with putting down into our vocabulary the words that we will use in this module. So, this is what we are going to start with today. Open up your vocabularies and put down the words from exercise 3, page 122. You're welcome. Pause the recording for 1 minute. Okay, now I think you've done that, and repeat after me. You're welcome. Encouragement. Concentrate on. Frightening them away. Give up. Soon. Appear. Without moving at all. Huge. Understood. Face. Place firmly. Okay, and now I'll give you 1 minute to find in the text the equivalents of these words. So there are synonyms. There are synonyms of these words in the text. So you have 1 minute to find them and to underline them with your pencil. Okay, you're welcome. Good! Now, let's pass over to the next stage of our lesson. We'll do exercise 4 on page 122. Here are the words. and you ought to match them to make word combinations. I hope you've done that. Now check yourselves. Look at the screen. Check your work and then put down these word combinations into your vocabulary. You have 1 minute to do this task. Pause the recording for 1 minute. Good. We are coming to the next stage. Now, we have put down the words into your vocabulary and we are ready to work with the text. You are going to listen to the text and then read it. So, while listening, you are to pay attention to the words that we have, words and word combinations that we have put down into your vocabulary. So, watch them closely so that you can understand how they are translated with the text and how they work within this particular text. So you may underline these words and pay attention to them while you're listening to the text. Okay. Is the task clear? Well, listen to the text, then read it again and translate the text for yourself so that you can understand what's going on there. You have 10 minutes to do this task, to listen to the text, to read it and translate. You're welcome. Pause the recording for 10 minutes.
Never give up. Bethany Hamilton and Tom Conaway both found themselves facing extremely difficult challenges, but they refused to give up. 18-year-old Bethany Hamilton paddles furiously into the gigantic wave. As she feels the back of the board lift, she leans forward, then quickly pushes herself up, plants her feet on her board, and carefully rides the wave as it moves quickly towards the beach. All this is nothing unusual for a champion surfer, but for Bethany it is a total miracle. In 2003, Bethany had already won several competitions and had plans to become a professional surfer. Then, one sunny October morning, she was surfing with her friends on a beach near Kauai, Hawaii. Suddenly, a 4-meter-long tiger shark attacked her, ripping off her arm. Most people would have become very depressed after such a tragedy, but Bethany amazed everyone. They couldn't believe their eyes when they saw her getting back on her surfboard only 3 weeks after her terrifying experience. This was not easy, though. Apart from the difficulties of learning to surf with just one arm, she also had to face her fear of getting attacked by a shark again.
It's always in my mind,
she says.
And it always will be. But I've got to keep my mind on having fun and just surfing.
Bethany is not only a champion surfer, but her positive attitude is also an inspiration to many. She has even been to Thailand to help children who experienced the 2004 tsunami disaster with their fear of water. Sometimes Bethany asks herself,
why me?
But then she thinks of how her experience has helped her be a better person. Bethany's motto is,
me, quit, never.
It's 5:30 in the morning, and 15-year-old Tom Conaway is sitting perfectly still in the wetlands of California, waiting for some wildlife to come into sight. Before long, thousands of birds are squawking noisily, and Tom is lucky enough to be able to film them up close in their natural habitat. But what makes Tom different from any other wannabe filmmaker? When Tom Conaway was only 4 years old, the car that he was travelling in rolled down a mountain. He was thrown out of the window and his spine was seriously bruised. Since then, his brain hasn't been able to send messages to parts of his body to tell them to move. But Tom doesn't waste any time feeling sorry for himself.
I'll be in a wheelchair the rest of my life,
He says.
but I consider myself lucky. Really, I mean I survived a horrible accident with no brain damage at all.
One afternoon, about 2 years after the accident, Tom's dad realised that filming was a hobby that the two of them could easily share. So Doug Conaway strapped a camera to Tom's chair so that he could film his brother's football games. Now Tom either uses a helmet camera to film, or his dad sets up a camera on a tripod and Tom controls it by wireless remote control while watching the camera view on the screen of a DVD player on his knee. Tom even sees his disability as a secret power when he is filming. The fact that it's so easy for him to sit still means that he can film animals without scaring them off. Tom's positive attitude is amazing.
Everyone has bumps in the road that they have to deal with,
He says.
That's all being in a wheelchair is for me. Just a little bump in the road.
Okay, I think you've done the task. I think you've read the text, you've listened to it, and you understand the essence. So the text is about two people, Bethany Hamilton and Tom Conaway. These people who had to face quite a difficult challenge in their lives. They are, let us say, disabled. Disabled means invalid. They are disabled people, but anyway, they found strength in themselves to continue living. And to, not just living, but doing something extraordinary in their life. Well, now, let's check how well you understood the text. Let's do exercise 2, page 122. In this exercise, there are 9 statements. I'll give you 2 minutes to mark these statements as true, false, or not stated. So in this case, you are to read the text again and find in the text the answers, true, false, or not stated for these 9 statements. You may underline it in the text because at the end you will have to prove why you have chosen this particular answer. You're welcome. You have 2 minutes to do this task. Pause the recording for 2 minutes. Now, let's check your answers. Look at the screen. You're welcome. The answer number 1 is false. Bethany was a professional surfer by 2003. Actually, Bethany was not a professional surfer. She only had plans to become a professional surfer in 2003. Okay. Bethany didn't see the shark before it attacked her. There is no evidence in the text whether it is true or not. It is just said that suddenly a 4-meter-long tiger shark attacked her. But it is not mentioned in the text whether she saw or not this particular shark. The next. People were surprised when Bethany started surfing again and so soon after her accident. That's true. Look at the text. Bethany amazed everyone. They, so it means people, couldn't believe their eyes when they saw her getting back on her surfboard only 3 weeks after her terrifying experience. So, if people couldn't believe their eyes, it means that they were actually surprised. The next, question number 4. Bethany doesn't worry about sharks anymore. It is false, because apart from the difficulties of learning to surf with just one arm, she also had to face her fear of getting attacked by a shark again. It means that she still has fear of sharks. It's always in my mind, she says, and it always be. So it means that she is still afraid of sharks, but she has to overcome it because it's a challenge. So this is what the challenge actually is. The next, question number 5. Bethany never questions why she lost her arm. It's false. Look at the text. Sometimes Bethany asks herself, why me? It means that she questions herself why it happened to her, so why she lost her arm. Question number 6. Tom can't move his arms or legs. Well, it's a tricky question because actually we understand that if Tom is in his wheelchair, it means that he cannot move arms or legs, maybe legs definitely. But it is not said in the text, because what we can read in the text, since then, his brain hasn't been able to send messages to parts of his body to tell them to move. To what parts of his body? So we may understand that these parts are legs and arms, but it is not said in the text. It is just said parts of the body. That's why the answer for this question is not stated. We are coming further. Question number 7. Tom's dad has always loved filmmaking. It is also not stated because Tom's dad realized that filming was a hobby that two of them could easily share. It is not pointed out whether he has always loved filmmaking or not. It is said that just it was a good hobby that they both found for themselves. Next. 8. Tom's dad controls the camera for him. It is false because, look at the text. Tom either uses a helmet camera to film or his dad sets up a camera on a tripod and Tom controls it by wireless remote control. So, who controls the camera? It is not his dad, it's Tom. That's why this statement is false. And the last one. Tom believes that his disability gives him an advantage when filming. Well, it is true. Because Tom even sees his disability as a secret power when he is filming. This is because he is a person who can sit still for not to frighten the birds that he is filming. And you see, disability gives him an advantage. And in the text we find that disability has a secret power. So advantage and secret power, they are quite synonyms. We may say that they are synonyms. That's why this statement is true. Well, good. If you've got if you've answered everything right, so I'm glad for you. I'm happy for you that you know English pretty well. And we are coming further. Well, challenges. So what are challenges usually connected with? No, they are connected with some problems, both physical and emotional. So speaking about physical problems, there may be different injuries, it may be traumas, it may be some health problems, because when people have to overcome physical challenges, it means that something in their body doesn't work properly because it was injured or a person was hit or something wrong happens, I don't know, different situations, accidents and so on. Now, let's see what injuries, accidents and traumas can happen to a person. Look at exercise 7, page 123. Well, in these exercises there are different injuries of how a person can be injured, what can happen to a person. But there is one odd word in every line. Now, I give you 2 minutes to find an odd word in each point, in each word combination. Let us say so. Okay. Pause the recording for 2 minutes. Okay, my dear students, now let's check exercise 7 on page 123. Okay. The odd word in the first line is the word hair, because scratch means царапать. So we can scratch face, we can scratch our leg, we can scratch our hand, but we can scratch our hand. Okay. The next number, to break. What is break? Сломать. That's right. So a person can break his arm, break his knee, колено, break his ankle, лодыжку, but he cannot break his eye. Невозможно сломать глаз. The next. Bruise. What is bruise? Bruise means ударить. What can be bruised? Что можно ударить? Eye, spine, eyebrow, or cheek. Okay, we can bruise our eye. We can bruise our spine, позвоночник. We can bruise eyebrow, бровь. But we cannot bruise our cheek. На щеке мягкие ткани невозможно ударить, ушибить еще. It's impossible. Okay, sprain. Растянуть. What can be sprained? Your ankle, лодыжка, your wrist, запястье, and your finger. But we cannot sprain our ear. Мы не можем растянуть ухо. Good. The next. Burn. Обжечь. What can be burned? It is our hand. Yes, the hand it can be burned. Tongue. Язык, если мы проглотили что-то не то. Face. But we cannot burn our teeth. Yes, you know, their teeth, they cannot be burned actually. The next, cut. Порезать. We can cut our lip. We can cut our leg. We can cut our finger, палец. But we cannot cut our spine. Мы не можем порезать позвоночник. Он слишком глубоко. And the last one, bump. Bump means ушибить, набить шишку, ударить до шишки, до синяка. Bump. Okay, you see that. We can bump our head. We can bump our shoulder. And we can bump our knee, колено. But we cannot bump our tongue, язык. У нас не бывает синяков на языке. So we cannot bump our tongue. Well, you see, the answers are again on the screen. So look at it and check yourselves. Good. Well, now I think that we have spoken about everything that we needed. We have spoken about challenges, we've learned the expressions about challenges, we've read the text about challenges, we've read and we've done the exercise about different traumas and injuries, everything that can happen to a person. Now, I think that we've got a good range of knowledge on this topic. And our lesson is coming to an end, and it's time to give you the home task. Open up your diaries and put down your home task for the next lesson. Well, you are to write a short story about challenge in your life according to the following plan. You are to write first what challenge it is, how it happened, so what happened, and describe the situation. What you felt physically in this situation, or how you suffered physically if it is a physical challenge. What you felt emotionally and how you suffered emotionally from this challenge. How you overcame this challenge. So what you did and what or who helped you to overcome this situation. And how you feel now after this challenge when everything is over. Okay. I'm waiting for your works. Please send them to me so that I can check. And now our lesson is over. Goodbye and good luck.